Hey everyone, my name is Andy,
Hi, I'm Deborah.
And I'm Jeff.
and we are excited to bring you the Solving Real World SQL Server Problems Learning Pathway for the Past Summit 2023. I'm really excited because we're going to be giving you some really interesting practical content. Deborah, why are you excited for this learning pathway?
Oh, I'm just excited because I think there's so much great stuff and thinking about the practical solutions to the issues we face every day. It's not just talking about the theoreticals, but it's talking about the practical solutions and the practical applications of these things. Jeff, I know you've got some great sessions on this.
Yeah, I'm excited because all of our sessions are going to have actionable steps that you can take to resolve these practical solution or practical situations that you'll see every day. Starting with my session, Unlocking the Powers Who is Active, we're going to show how you can use the Who is Active community supported stored procedure to identify quickly through non-default options, and I'm sure you've had a lot of experience just hitting F5 or executing the stored procedure and looking at the output. You can change that output to help you hone in on specific problems and identify issues, whether they be resource contention or blocking or maybe even storage issues. And if you do have storage issues, Andy's got a session for that as well.
Yeah, my session is going to be all about figuring out whether storage is really the woes of your performance concerns or not. Because many of us have had performance headaches, and our first suspect is the storage. But oftentimes, a lot of us don't necessarily appreciate the fact that there's other things in between, especially with a lot of us who happen to have, some virtualized SQL servers or even just our network interconnects. So I'm going to help explore all layers of the stack. But to be perfectly honest, sometimes your performance headaches are just crazy code. And I think Deborah's going to be talking a little bit about that, right?
Oh yeah, I deal a lot with crazy code. And one of the crazy codes that I have to deal with is dealing with dynamic SQL. It is both the crazy code and a solution to crazy code, which is really cool. So what we'll be doing is we'll talk in our Mastering Dynamic SQL session about the way it works and understanding how we can use it. So all the problems associated with dynamic SQL we'll deal with, and you'll be able to use it as a really great tool. But, again, we still have to deal with the queries that lie underneath. And Jeff, I think you've got the next session that's going to talk about how we handle those and find those.
That's true. My next session, Making the Most of Query Store in the Real World, will show how you can use Query Store beyond just the interface or just forcing queries. You can use the underlying tables and some actually community supported tools to to resolve real world issues like deadlocks or parameter sniffing or excessive resource consumption. You can actually go look and not just the execution plans, but the queries themselves. And sometimes those queries are going to be pretty ugly. And I think, Deborah, you have the final session in the pathway to address those.
Yep, conquering the monster proc, how to combat legacy code. Because we all have it. And we all come into the place and we've that code that's been there forever. And it finally hits that tipping point. So what I'm going to be talking about is how we can take everything that we've just talked about from Andy's sessions, from Jeff's sessions, from my sessions, and we're going to think about how do we combat legacy code? How do we deal with it? How do we even begin to tackle it now that we have all these tools at our disposal? It may not have all the solutions, but I can at least help guide you with the right questions to ask and get you on the path. So you've got some real world answers and how to go about dealing with all of these issues.
So we hope this pathway has you excited for Past Summit 2023. We're super excited, and we hope to see you later this year in Seattle.